Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. Love being here on a beautiful, cool October morning. This is the All-Star panel at this time. Jane and Candace could not be here. They both have other obligations. Now, Candace had a headdress ready to go. She was going to come and, be Pocahontas, and but she couldn't be here. Jane and Candace are not available. And we're just a bunch of bananas here, and
she could have used. Candace could have used Nikki Haley's line last night at the Al Smith dinner. She said they were asking for an Indian, but Pocahontas couldn't pass the DNA test. so she said
I could.
Yeah, they're looking for an Indian.
I got to thank Ross for telling me about all these lines. I got all 10 of them. They're great. They're awesome.
Yes, the Al Smith dinner.
Al Smith dinner last night. Yeah.
It was funny. Her joke about Trump being there last year or last time. It was
and then the year after, the choir boy, they had
Paul Ryan, but he was a little
choir boy.
Yeah, the Cub Scout.
The Cub Scout.
Yeah, he was a little boring.
Eddie Munster.
Yeah. Okay, folks.
Hey,
as you know, we have Bruce and we have Rick.
Are we going to get to vote?
Vote on what?
As to whether the ladies have a seat next time they show up?
No, it's a given. It's a done deal. All right.
They get to vote on us. We don't get to vote on them.
No. But Bruce, what's your first subject? Come on, talk. Which one out there is which subject out there is of most interest to you this week that you?
Well, I heard something, and you maybe can outline this because you always watch all the shows and everything. But what Nancy Pelosi said something about anyone who stands in the way of Democrats is going to, be collateral damage.
Yeah, she said we're going to have some collateral damage. We may have some collateral damage along the way, but that's okay. That's exactly what she said.
What did that mean, though? I mean, just try to work through the Botox. I can't quite, put it together.
Well, I let's say this with Nancy Pelosi, okay? I have watched so many, and you guys have too, since President Donald Trump has taken office. We've watched so many of these talking heads talking about his cognitive functions and early stages of dementia, and we've heard that over and over and over about our president.
And all of those are impeachable offenses.
Right, but we never hear them take Nancy Pelosi to task of how many times she's come to the podium and she's drawn a blank and forgot where she's at. I mean, seriously, right?
Oh, yeah.
And some of the things that she said. And the scary thing is, they talk about the fear of having President Donald Trump. Okay, we know the media that says the fear of every day that you and I have to live in fear of this guy being president of the United States. I can't understand. All right, so let's say he's feared. What the hell's Nancy Pelosi? I mean, the fear of her having a gavel. What is that? What kind of fear is that?
I mean, Rush last night on Hannity's show said, every time people say that, I said, yeah, but look at what the alternative would have been. We could have had Hillary Clinton. Where would we be right now, 18 months or 20 months, whatever it is, 24 months later, if Hillary Clinton was in office?
And Pelosi was the House leader.
Yeah, well, right. Well, Bruce, getting back to that, though, what you said about Pelosi, they tried to, and they couldn't sell it. But the Democrats tried early on to sell voters that she wouldn't be speaker. You remember their candidates they were bringing out, right? The candidates they were bringing out, they were testing out the line of, oh, I will go against Nancy. I'm not going to. Remember that?
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
No.
It didn't work. Nobody believed it. Okay, nobody believed it because everybody knows that Nancy's going to be Speaker of the House.
Well, they seem to have defaulted to that, and then I think with all the issues with the blue wave, red wave, they sort of said, okay, we better stick with what we know.
On the waves, I've got to say they've done a wave with money. Wherever it came from, we know it's come from Steyer. We know it's come from Bloomberg. We know it's come from George Soros. We know it's come from Hollywood.
Hollywood, big time.
Yeah, we know that. But they have done the wave with money. Now, that they've done.
A green wave.
A green wave with money. They have. But Pelosi saying that, collateral damage, I've often said that the Kavanaugh hearing unleashed crazy that people that normally don't pay attention, we do, was able to see, because it unleashed crazy.
I think they're reeling from the Kavanaugh hearing, Feinstein especially.
Yes.
I mean, she's back on her heels, and it's showing in her district. She's all of a sudden struggling.
You know, this morning on Morning Joe, they got the pom poms out.
Sorry.
And they did cheerleading for. They did their Democrat cheerleading all morning long to try to pump up Democrats. Okay, because there are some things that are indicators out there to say maybe the enthusiasm for Democrats. The Democrats are energized, but maybe the independents that they thought would come over are not coming over.
Dropping off.
All right, so they're a little concerned. So Joe's on there doing his cheerleading this morning, and he starts yelling, "Where are the Democrat, taglines, the headlines?" Because they were saying this morning that even if you like Donald Trump, he gets on these rallies, and even if it's true or false, he says these things that stick. And I'm telling you, this morning, there's nothing better than Democrats. What? Democrats produce mobs. Republicans produce jobs. Oh my God! I mean, like
jobs versus mobs.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like you can't beat that.
No,
right?
and what does that do? You and I have talked about this. It sucks all the air out of the media, and they have no room to talk about what the Dems really want to talk about. So all they're doing is they're constantly having to trying to fight what Trump is coming up with, and there's just no room for anything else.
But beyond the media, I mean, basically it resonates with ordinary people. People are in jobs or like they're trading up in jobs. So that's more meaningful to a lot of the people out there.
I would be offended, and I don't know how to articulate this. But I would be offended.
We'll help you with the big words.
No. I would be offended because for years I was, upset that they put the black vote in a group.
Who's they? The Dems?
Yeah, the Dems. Okay. The Dems. They put them in a
assisted
group.
By the media. Everybody's
right. They put them in a
minority,
and they identified them. Okay. Now, us, I don't. I want you to decide who you want to vote for based on what you want to do. You to decide. But the Dems put their voters in groups, right? They put them in groups,
silos,
and I would be offended if I was a suburban white woman that they decided for me they were going to put me in a group and decide that I'm not educated enough to go look at the facts and see. You know what I'm saying?
You can listen to Obama's commercials from all the way, and it's nothing but identity politics,
right?
I mean, he comes out with they played a clip of one of his commercials, and it talks about getting your cousin, and I can't remember the name, but it was a very, I mean, the overtone was just, it was a black name, if you will. You got to go get your cousin so and so and get him off his butt to go vote. If that's not identity politics, I don't know what is. But to your point, that's what they're doing. They put everybody in groups, and
all the shows you watch, which I generally don't watch, but you do for research reasons, they're always talking about, college-educated white women are in the back pocket of the Democrats. I'm going to my wife, college-educated, your wife college-educated. I said, are you on board with this?
No, you're exactly right, because every single morning I get this big graphic, I've got MSNBC with a big graphic, dumb white guys. And I swear to God, it's literally that, but they dress it up. Yep. They dress it up of non-college educated white males that, drink beer and wear NASCAR hats. Okay?
Would that be us?
But no, I'm serious.
You
should see it. And it's like, I'm like, my God, what are you guys doing with these, doing these groups? I was just getting ready to ask you this question.
I don't like NASCAR. I'm a Formula One guy.
I don't have a problem with that, okay? Yeah, okay, all right.
These boys work so hard.
Okay. Anyhow, let me ask you a question, because I was going to ask you. Was your wife upset that Donald Trump called Stormy Daniels horse face? Yes or no?
No.
Was your wife upset that Donald Trump called Stormy Daniels?
No, we've had this conversation.
Okay. But wait a minute. The media blew up.
Of course.
That this was oh my God, and we can't wait to see polling now after Donald Trump called her horseface with horse face, right? With suburban white women. Here's what I'm thinking. Suburban white women looking at their husbands saying, if I catch you anywhere near where Horseface is going to be dancing tonight, you've got a problem, right? I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out who's upset that Stormy Daniels is Horseface.
But again,
tell me out there.
You said it on the show this week, and we'll say it again. The reason that he throws, once again, it's a checkers chess moment, okay? That's not just something that he ad-libs and throws out there. It's by design, people.
Yes.
He cannot get the mainstream media to talk about the fact that Stormy Daniels lost that lawsuit, and the creepy lawyer has to pay
his fees.
And what's that?
He has to pay his fees.
Yeah,
third-rate
creepy lawyer has to pay the fees. He couldn't get anybody to talk about that. So what does he do? He says it, and he throws Horseface in there. Boom. They latch onto that like, you know
and
what?
They have to report it.
And they
have to read the entire tweet.
So Trump still winning.
Right. They have to report it, and they have to tell America. And I will say this. I understand out there, it's hilarious on social media. Social media keeps going around and around. Donald Trump's the first guy in the world that got a refund from a hooker. So I'm serious. I can't believe it. And the Pocahontas jokes this week.
Oh my God!
How did that backfire?
Oh, I mean, she's another one that's back.
He could be running against Spartacus or Pocahontas.
Even her family's going, "Hey, I think you better apologize." You know.
Yeah, I mean, the Cherokees threw her under the bus. You know, we don't have no part of her. I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, but what's humorous, and we have some serious things going on in this country we should talk about, but what's humorous is the day Trump called her Pocahontas, they freaked out, right? Then he dared her to a DNA test. I'm sorry to say it this way. Dummy did it, all right? I'm sorry, man, but Dummy went and did the DNA test.
And did it badly. It did it badly.
Right. Yeah, and then got the guy on speakerphone doing a political thing.
Can you believe the way she set that up?
And he comes out like, told you, I have seen, the best one I like is Donald Trump as maitre d', and Elizabeth Warren shows up and says, I need a table for two, and Trump looks at her and says, you don't have a reservation. I don't know. They're out there. It's great. Okay, so Pocahontas. Here's the interesting thing: is Pocahontas was actually the one in Georgia. Elizabeth Warren campaigning. Elizabeth Warren, if you don't know, she'll always be known.
Who's Elizabeth Warren?
Pocahontas, a.k.a. Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
Okay. She was actually in Atlanta with Stacey Abrams campaigning when Stacey Abrams said the blue wave, documented and undocumented, are part of the blue wave. So everybody has come to Georgia to be with Stacey. Before we get there, okay. Okay. See, I don't want to be insensitive. Realistically, I don't. There's things I don't care, and there's times I don't want to sound insensitive.
However,
the last 15 minutes we've been insensitive.
However, here we go.
Let's just pile on.
I don't want to be don't mess up my punchline this game. However was good, but if I'd have just known and we'd rehearsed that earlier, I'd have rolled it off. Anyhow, I don't want to be insensitive, but it's a damn shame Trump got up in the middle of the night and flew over there to Istanbul, Turkey, and killed Khashoggi and got back in time to do a campaign rally.
We got some damn fast jets, don't we?
Yeah. But is it not? I mean, my God. Yes, the man is dead. Okay? He is a journalist. He's dead. All right? Now, Trump has exercised patience, getting the information together, is my opinion, to do something, and I don't know what that is. And the media cannot be happy no matter what. He was supposed, according to Morning Joe and all the presumed journalists in the world, he was supposed to launch an all-out air attack on Saudi Arabia the next day.
Right.
Mommy, what say you about that?
Erdogan kind of put him in a box, I think.
Yeah, and there's a little chess game going on with those
guys. There's a chess game going on between the two of those guys.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's not... it's not coincidental that they were leaking stuff out at about the same time that Brunson was being released.
Right.
Because that was going to be Trump's moment. And he also put a ton of sanctions on Turkey, and Erdogan wanted to kind of give him a little shot, don't you think? Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's more to the Pastor Brunson Khashoggi thing that really meets the eye. I think they're using that as a political chess game back and forth to put Trump in the hot seat. And he is. I mean, he's
What I
got
tell you
some
yesterday.
tough decisions to make.
Yeah.
What I tell you yesterday, let me tell you folks, okay? None of this is okay. But in America, I just do not think that the people in LJ, Georgia are going to hold up big posters saying justice for journalists while they're paying $7 for gas.
Well, yeah, and
Okay,
the journalists.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're
Now-
working that pretty hard because this guy Khashoggi, has been represented as an American citizen. He's not.
He's not.
He's been here on a
Permanent
visa.
resident.
He's a permanent
He's here
green
on a
card.
visa.
Right.
Yeah, and he just met some gal in Turkey. He was going to marry this
He's
gal.
not our
He's gonna-
citizen.
He's going to live in
facts
Turkey.
is the fact.
That's exactly why he was in the Saudi Council.
And he's a radical writer, and he also is a big front person for the Muslim Brotherhood.
Exactly.
Not talked about.
Much. None of it's talked
Yeah,
about.
but no. They're saying
So,
now.
yeah, the guy ain't a saint.
Well, wait a minute. Why can't some of the media take responsibility for the position they're in that nobody trusts them? They did it to themselves. You understand what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah.
Well, yeah,
They
it's just-
take no responsibility for it.
It's just a blanket thing that there's war against journalism, journalists
Yeah,
worldwide.
but now it's Donald Trump's fault for creating the environment. No, it's your
Exactly.
fault for lying to us.
Exactly.
For so many years.
Yeah.
It's your fault for not actually doing the news. It's your fault for creating this. We're not the bad people out here. And when Donald Trump pointed out fake news lie, every week, once a week at least on my show, I clearly identify where they've told a complete lie on a news story.
Wouldn't you
Every
love it?
week.
Wouldn't you love it if the media would have paid this much attention when our ambassador in Benghazi was dragged through the streets and killed? Wouldn't you love it if
They
the media
did. They got
Yeah.
a game plan together, and they got Susan Rice on
They
all
got
the
Susan
morning
Rice
shows
on 5
to
shows
us.
to lie
And
again.
exactly, and that's why today they are where they are at.
This is not an isolated incident where Saudis kill somebody. I mean, look at their past history
Yeah,
on human rights violations
they have
and
public executions still.
in public executions and
They're
the
pretty
way they
tough.
treat women. To just isolate this one incident to put Trump on the hot seat. He's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't in the decision that he
And,
made.
and they just keep repeating, the media is the enemy of the state.
Over in
and
Saudi
that's what Trump-
Arabia, they're cheering because 3 women have a driver's license, right?
More than that.
But I think it's only 3.
No, it's more.
No, you're killing my punchline again. What?
Tell you the
No,
truth.
I wrote a joke on this, and I was trying to deliver it.
Okay.
It's gone now.
Truth
Three
in media.
women.
3 women, only 3 women,
Only
because
3.
usually you pull
Why
up.
is that?
You
said?
know, because I'll tell you why. Because usually you pull up to a traffic light and the lady sits there and you say, "Oh, that must be a woman driver." And Saudi Arabia says, "Oh, there's Edna again," because they know all 3 of them's name. That was my joke.
I feel like this. I'm with Henny Young in here.
This is the guy.
Take my wife,
Yeah,
please.
this is the guy who says, "Oh, tomorrow I got to take my wife to the airport." I said, "Who are you, Eddie Young?" Sorry, folks. We got to get
Anyway.
going. Anyway, back to you. No, it's this morning. Do you know what they did on the news this morning? They spent so much time focusing on Trump in Montana, on Gianforte and the body slam. Remember when Gianforte body slammed the Guardian reporter?
Yeah, in
and broke
New
his-
York, right?
No, in Montana.
I missed that. I'm
Yeah, in
sorry.
Montana.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Well, last night Trump's in Montana and he talks about he says, "Yeah, this guy GFW. I heard he body slammed the reporter and he went like this in the back, and they're going nuts today because Trump created this culture of violence against journalists.
Yeah.
No, didn't happen.
That's exactly the talking point that they come to when they say, well, you know, where did all this violence come from? Well, it started with the Dems. It started with Trump when he, you know, during his rallies, he said, throw that guy out of there. You punch him in the nose, I'll pay your legal bills.
The president acting badly again.
They come back to that same line every time.
Caravan.
Let's
switch.
Rolling.
Caravan. Just in time.
Who's paying for that?
I said last week, oh my God, here comes a caravan just in time. What's around the corner? But midterm elections.
Who started that? Who's paying for it?
They have cameras. They have a camera crew, video crews.
Right.
They have trucks.
Well, like Limbaugh said, I mean, you know, where do these people stop and like eat and, you know, get water and, you know, do all their natural functions?
You know what I want to know? I want to know what's in the backpack. And I want to know where the store is that sells all those backpacks. Because they're all climbing up and they all got their backpacks, right?
And they're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But they're oppressed.
Huh?
They're oppressed.
Could be Sierra Design, could be Patagonia. I mean, you know, there's some nice backpacks.
What say you on the caravan heading, and what say you about Trump saying, I'll send the military?
Politically motivated to start with. You know, there's outside money.
Okay, well then politically motivated, what were they looking to achieve?
Public relations nightmare, you know, and then you get to the border and you have the whole separation of children from the parents and all that, you know, immigration again.
Well,
and I think, yes, he's correct to have made that that threat, if you will.
Go ahead. Weren't they reporting this morning that they've come to an agreement with Mexico?
They stopped them.
Yeah. They've come to an agreement with Mexico, the current administration, and they got buy-in from the incoming administration to say, we're going to involve the UN. Right. We're going to ask the UN to build shelters, and we're going to ask them to see if they can do the proper vetting to see if these people are really have the proper paperwork, whether they can come in, whether they can qualify.
If the kids are even there.
My opinion is they're trying anything. They're desperate. There's not the wave that they think. That's my opinion.
I mean, the blue wave.
The blue wave.
There is a wave of Hondurans coming.
Yeah, okay. But my belief is they're desperate. And I will say this, that they've gone back and they've looked at their polling, okay? What did poll well for us? Kids in cages polled well for them in upsetting suburban white women. Now, that's just true, okay? So,
except the kids in cages were during Obama's time, not
right. But the separation of family,
never reported.
The spastic separation of family played well.
That was
okay.
The headline.
It played well in suburban America with white women. That's what they did. They went back to that because they think that'll tip the scales. So they say, hey, we get 4,000 to come to the border. We'll run down there with satellite trucks. We'll create a humanitarian disaster down there on the border with children hurt, children crying. We'll get video. We'll break everybody's heart.
Yep.
Trump said, no, you're not going to do it, right?
Exactly. I'm sorry, I've got a smile on my face, but I keep thinking about, I read those 10 jokes. Nikki Haley says, last night at the Al Smith dinner, I bought Governor Cuomo a drink. I just wanted to make sure it didn't have any ice in it. No ice for the face. Just like the borders, no ice. They don't want any ice down there. I'm just trying to relate, all right?
That's good stuff.
That's pretty good. I remember that.
That's pretty good stuff. Okay, so I mean I don't want to run out of time. Bruce wants to talk a little bit about Georgia, so I'll close with that. But Bruce, what do you have this morning?
Well, I want to get from you your latest take on things. So you're on the ground.
I'm stalling.
You're stalling.
I'm trying to stall. No.
Stacey Abrams came out this morning, her letter this morning, and I get it every morning because I signed up. I want to know what the enemy's doing. I've learned from the master. Anyway, her letter this morning was from Gabby Gifford, who is now making a pitch to
gun control.
Gun control, and the NRA's coming in with this huge amount of money to go against her with these ads in Georgia, and they're going to run through the end of the election cycle. So she got Gabby Gifford on her side now.
There was a good group, and this is what I said this morning. Journalists out there, folks. Journalists out there. Obviously, look, we want to make sure we convey that Khashoggi being killed in the consulate of Saudi Arabia there in Istanbul, Turkey. You know that's That's just something, nothing good about that. That's a disaster in itself.
Well, we don't know that yet. He could have choked on a chicken bone.
Okay. But trying to stay on a serious note here with Bruce over here.
Hey, they don't know the Heimlich maneuver.
Huh? Tell her to hush. I got to get the Georgia thing in before my time's up. Okay, could you quiet your friend?
I think you, yeah.
Anyhow, so, but what I'm saying is journalists will not take they proclaim to be journalists. They do not take responsibility for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest lie that's been told in politics, first of all, I said early on that Georgia would be a national race. It is. I mean, every morning something blasts. Chuck Todd had Stacey Abrams last week. They are New York Times writing articles, Washington Post. It doesn't matter. They are digging into Georgia because they want to win Georgia. They get the governor's mansion in Georgia. That is a win. It's a big one for them. That being said, the biggest lie that was told is voter suppression in Georgia. That was a lie.
Yes.
Flat out lie. Okay. And the interesting thing is, CNN did the story. Associated Press broke the story. Even Fox did it, but they did the story, but they did come up with the true facts of it, but they still did the story. MSNBC went nuts over it. And Rachel Maddow did a whole hour with graphs and charts and everything about how bad Brian Kemp is.
Exactly.
I mean, she broke it down how bad he is, but it was all lies. And I think to myself, and I watch MSNBC, if you could really catch them in these kind of lies and reporting, what else are they lying about? Truth. There's not 57,000. Truth. The new Georgia project was started by Stacey Abrams. All right. The truth is they paid canvassers to go out with clipboards and handwrite. Okay. There's a lot of counties in South Georgia that are predominantly a lot of black people there that have never registered. Mm-hmm. They made a decision that they didn't care if they were legal. They didn't care if they were of a resident, what they are. They were going to go register these people. They've done that. Okay. And what happens?
Well, they got names on paper.
Exactly. On paper. Everyone has to be hand
analyzed. Right. And what happens is they're making a big deal over exact match.
Yeah.
That's not true. What it is if you go online right now in the state of Georgia and you register, which is too late now, but if you register online, if anything's off with your license, your address, or anything like that, it's going to show up then, and you're going to know then. But they were going over because the people are getting $5 an application, right, or registration,
whatever,
and they want the money. So they were just writing anything in these, and they're stacked up. And the bad part is what they're really doing is they're talking about the local people, your local election offices, because what happens is they get stacked up at the local election office, and they have to do the data entry. So they keep making it sound like Brian Kemp's sitting in a room down here, and he's doing them, and he's deciding he doesn't want. That was the biggest lie told by the media. Nothing about it true. Okay.
1 hour by Rachel Maddow.
Yes.
And I saw Brian Kemp on Fox right before he did your show Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he explained it just like you did.
The race.
Great interview, by the way.
Thank you very much. The race for governor, I do think it's neck and neck. I do think it's neck and neck. There's a poll that says Kemp's up 2, she's down 2. There's a poll that says there's only a fraction of 0.5% that they're tied. So I do think within the margin of error they are neck and neck. My concern in this election is, will there be enough rural voters to overcome the illegal votes, undocumented, documented votes, okay? The votes in Metro Atlanta and the other metro cities in the state. So rural Georgia has to come out and vote stronger than they've ever done before.
Well, let me tell you on that. I did early voting the other day, the second day. It wasn't the first day. And they said they had 406 people vote here in Blue Ridge.
Yes, they set a record the first
They set a record. And they said the previous one was 16, which is like 342. So, I mean, there you got a 20% bump from 2016 election.
I think they're going to come out of the woodwork.
I think, people are just...
Chuck and Marianne are a good barometer. This county's a good barometer for
it really is.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I've got 2 more segments to do today.
With us or without us?
without you. You can stay for pet of the week. Okay.
Okay.
Winners or losers, Bruce?
Yeah, real quick. Loser. Rihanna, the singer, has turned down the Super Bowl thing because she's simpatico with Colin Kaepernick. So there's my loser. Winner.
That should be a loser with a head examination.
Okay, well,
She should get a free head examination for doing that.
Yeah, there's losers and losers. Winner, Mexico, for like working with us to stand up to this wave of Central American immigrants.
I agree with that.
And I did have a toss-up, though. Nebraska's got a new tourism ad, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. It says, the quote line is, "But there's nothing to do here." And supposedly, you come and relax and all that. But I mean, to our friend Brett, said, I don't know about this for Nebraska.
My loser is going to be Google for putting up with the rhetoric that Farrakhan keeps spewing and comparing Jews to termites, which was exactly what was done in Nazi Germany.
Is that still on Google? Because I consider that real hate speech.
It is absolute hate speech.
And they're not taking him down.
Why he has not been taken down, I don't know. And they can take an actor down like, what's his name? I can't think of it right now. Anyway, my winner is, you got to hand it to the Boston Red Sox.
Off the set. Throw him off.
I know.
You did that on purpose.
I'm going against what you said this morning, but I got to get, best record ever, best record in baseball, best record they've ever had. And, they really took it to, sorry, Josh, a really good Astros team. A very, very good Astros team.
Folks, tune in next week to see if Rick returns. It will be something you want to watch for. By the way, we don't allow any Reds. All right, we got to go. We got 2 more segments this morning, but I don't want to end without saying my winner is this country, and my loser are all the people that continue to say that Donald Trump's presidency is a train wreck. This morning, I hear this train wreck of a presidency, and then you flip over, and America is the leading country in the world with the most aggressive economy, right? And what a train wreck we're living in. Got it?
Yep. I can't wait to see the new hat. Mob or Jobs? Trump in 2024.
We got to go. We've got Jesse Barton with us, and then we have our pet of the week. We'll be right back with North Georgia Senior Living.